Helms Deep. Is that one of those bands in the dwarf metal field I've heard so much about? Hi people, and hello my Chilling Carnage crew, it's Chilly here, the man who produces Design for My Eyes, doing a 5-minute review on Helms Deep's newest album, Chasing the Dragon. Now, if you name your band after the location of one of the greatest battles in Middle Earth's history, and of course cinematic history, then you have to be prepared to back it up with some awesome and big sounding songs. Admittedly, I had never heard of the band up until a week ago, but I did a quick playthrough of their debut album, Treacherous Ways, that was released in 2023, and I gotta say,
nice.
So these guys aren't dwarf metal by any means. They take that silly fad and cast it into the fires of Mount Doom, instead opting for some old school thrash metal and mix in it with an understandable amount of power metal, tossing out any preconceived notions that I had surrounding their style.
Toss me.
Their second album, Chasing the Dragon, is a catchphrase usually associated with people getting high. Also, real quick here, and I have to say this album cover is really epic. I mean, look at this. It's a dragon in armor blasting through space on a Boba Fett looking backpack. What is not to like? So this album begins off with a small intro piece called Wing Chun, where I thought for just a brief moment anyway, this had something to do with that song Everybody Have Fun Tonight, except that's actually the artist Wang Chung. Instead, Wing Chun is a discipline of martial arts, which most would recognize as being the style used by Yip Man and his associated movie series. It is also the same style that he taught to Bruce Lee back in the 70s or 60s or whenever it was that he taught him. This is quite the pillar that the band are building themselves up on, and I just hope that they land this, because you have Helms Deep, of course one of the best battles ever seen in the last 20 years, then you have the Yip Man series and that movie, and Bruce Lee. So damn it, how are you going to follow this up? So we are launched into the true beginnings with Black Sephiroth, and I get a taste of what the band is offering on this newest release right here, because, does it just hit so hard and so nice. Speed is the key here, and I guess, well, the album cover is living up to its namesake, because it feels like we have strapped on the rockets and are launched into the stratosphere on that first real song. Now we follow this up with the title track for the record, a balls to the wall tune that goes for the jugular with its tenacious attack of the guitar and frantic pacing. The dueling guitar work is always great to hear, along with the whole band joining in for the chorus of chants, and it's easy to see why this song was chosen to be the title of the album, as it's definitely a standout piece on here. Now if you listen to this record for the first 2 or 3 tracks, it's easy to see who the band have cited their influences from. Now I've been listening to metal for a while now, and you can tell when you have the influences of the old guard with newer bands like these guys. And damn it, you can tell they wear this influences on their sleeves on here. This record almost harkens back to that bygone era of music that Spinal Tap exacerbated the points of in their movie, but the music on hand makes me feel like there is hope, at least for the future, because I guarantee if you're going to see this band in a live setting, you will not be let down. The band also lean into that B-grade kind of feel on here with stage props and outfits akin to that generation. Don't know if that's true, but hey, if they want to comment below and tell us otherwise, I'm all for it, and I'll pin the comment in there. Now, of course, they take this older style and give it a bit of a minor update in its production. Admittedly, the production on this album is lacking in small parts and requires a little bit more beefiness to, of course, their tone. But to me, at least, that kind of adds a layer of atmosphere that is often forgotten in recent albums as of late, with their clean and overproduced kind of sounds that just feel like it would be a bit too murky for this band. If you listen to a lot of records as of late compared to, say, the 80s stuff, you can really tell the difference, and you will get exactly what I mean. Deep midsections, heavy distortion, all that kind of stuff. What happened to standard tuning, guys, or using 6-string guitars? You can do it if you really put your mind to it, trust me. Apparently Eddie Van Halen never used a distortion pedal in his life, and look at the music that he wrote. The guitar work on here is clean and can be heard, giving an edge to their sound, which is just fantastic and really is one of the exacerbating points on here. The drum work is crisp and tightened, with their bass guitarist driving a great rhythm section within. Lastly, the vocals are easily the standout on this effort, which is arguably the most important part of any song that is performed, of course, with great intensity. Admittedly, the band does fall for the old trope of having a record that lasts perhaps a bit longer than it should have, and maybe a song or two could have been cut, particularly the song Curse, which feels like one of those mid-album lulls, as the tempo is slowed down on this piece and it doesn't quite resonate with me on a playthrough. At least it is followed up by Flight of the Harpy, which is another song to be given a listen to, and really, you should add it to any playlist that you have regarding air guitars. Yes, this album does contain flaws, however, they're very small compared to the overall effort by the band, who should be very proud of what they have achieved on here. Frozen Solid has some sections and solos that really remind me of old school thrash metal, and of course it is teased throughout its duration, but is of course keeping us baited for its runtime, and Red Planet, another track here, brings a change of style compared to the rest of the album that is quite warranted and appreciated, almost going into the groove metal with an intriguing twist. As for the song Seventh Circle, it brings forth its galloping pace with a barrage with the entire band. Hope you're prepared for the cavalry, boys. Overall, I'm going to give this album a score of 7.5 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being Chasing the Dragon, Fly to the Harpy, and Seventh Circle. Now, if you are a fan of early Iron Maiden or something like Judas Priest, then I'd highly recommend playing this album. It lends itself to that fantasy realm while containing vocal sections that are in the higher registries and stupidly impressive, of course. The band knows how to work their songs with solos and dual guitars, and they pay homage to that 80s sound of metal. It's fun listening to anyone who gives it a spin, guaranteed. But as always, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this record if you have listened to it, and comment in the section below as to what was your favourite track. And don't forget to stay spicy out there. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content, because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.